Hello, hello, everybody. Looks like we are live. Happy Monday. Welcome. It is so good to see you guys here. Welcome to SoulPet. I can see all the comments already coming in. Can't wait to get started on this. Holly, I have so much to share. I can't wait to start sharing all this with you guys. So hang on a quick second while I pop out the chat and make sure that I can read what everybody has to say, and then we'll go ahead and do our little intro. So tonight's live stream is for those of us, including myself in this mix, for those of us who may feel stuck in the grief, for those of us who may be stuck back in that moment and haven't really been able to move through it. And sometimes we have good days, but sometimes we really get mired down in it, and we feel like we haven't come back from it. And so that's what this live stream is about tonight. And I often talk about heart coherence, which is how we can make a connection with our animal companions on the other side, when we can learn how to access the love in our heart and allow our body to de-stress and connect our mind and our heart and our core. But what do you do if the emotions that you feel are stuck, and especially if they're stuck in your heart? You can't even get to think about letting go of the stress and aligning yourself when all the emotions are, when it feels like this is still like in a grip, a vice of being of grief. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight: how to soften that, how to let that go so that you can get to a place where you can connect with your animal companions on the other side. But first, let's say hello to everybody. It's good to see you guys. So this is a live stream. If you're catching me for the very first time, my name is Elaine. I'm an animal Reiki master, an animal chaplain, and an animal medium. And this channel is dedicated to those of us who have pets at the Rainbow Bridge, those of us whose soul pets have crossed to the other side and left such a gap in our life that we are trying to work through that, and they are here to help us. And we talk about practical things, like tonight's going to be very real. It's going to be about real emotions, real ways to kind of move through that emotion. But a lot of times we dive deep in, we go down the rabbit hole. We do a little bit of woo-woo. So please join us. And wherever you happen to be on your journey of grief, whether it is something brand new or something that's months or even years old, you are welcome here. And we have a wonderful community. I'm about to say hello to everybody. We have a wonderful, supportive community who will welcome you with open arms, judgment-free virtual hugs. We will support you wherever you happen to be on your journey. But let's begin first by saying hello to everybody. I am coming to you live from where that's a hazard of my love of travel, that sometimes I can't remember where I am. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. So tonight's live stream comes from Scottsdale, and I decided to sit outside because it's a beautiful evening. Unlike the whole winter in Arizona that has been so hot, we are remarkably cool and beautiful. It's a beautiful night here. So I'm praying you guys can see me. I can already see comments scrolling through, so I'll try to catch those. Let me know that you can see and hear me okay. And thank you so much, Pat. And thank you for kicking us off. And Pat, I've been checking those comments pretty regularly. I did do a little bit of exploring for those of you who have had comments that disappear and or comments that you type in that others can see that I can't. There has been some, the word is aggressive moderation by YouTube. I guess there's been a lot of denser things getting posted, and so they're really heavily moderating comments. I don't know why they would think that this channel has anything on it that needs to be moderated, but neither here nor there. My settings allow anybody to comment, and you are all welcome to please share your soul pets names, because I love to hold them near and dear to my heart. So I'm guessing that you guys can hear me okay, and I am going to go back and say hello to everybody first. Then we're going to do some questions. I like to do questions at the beginning. Most live streams do the questions at the end, but you guys ask such amazing questions that really tie directly into the topic that we're going to be talking about. And so I'm going to address those because it will lead us exactly where we want to go this evening. Okay. Oh, first things first, a little bit of homework for my channel members. Homework for me, a message for my channel members. Thursday, April 30th, I'm going to do a live Zoom. So it's a Zoom signs and messages from the Rainbow Bridge. It is, I have been doing these in person at a local crystal shop, a local metaphysical shop near where I live, but I'm going to take the show on the road and we're going to make it online. So it'll be Thursday night. I'll send all my channel members may attend for free, no charge, part of your membership. General public, though, there will be a small, very small, modest fee for attending the live Zoom. It's going to be a 90-minute session, signs and messages from the Rainbow Bridge. So stay posted. I will send a message to all of my channel members with that link so that you can join. All right, let's say hello. Pat, thanks for starting us off strong as always with your questions. We'll get to all those questions in a second. Lady Leomon, thanks for saying hello. Sherry, awesome to have you here. Kali, you brought a lot of inspiration behind the thoughts that I have in tonight's video, in particular the activity that we're going to do to help soften that heart space and bring the color back into our lives. All right, so that was a hello to Kali, and let's keep scrolling down. We have Sharon. It's great to see you. Hello, hello. Who else are my channel members here? I know I saw Alana. Hello, Alana, and hello. I already said hello to Sherry, and hello, Z. Great to have you here, Z. Yes, Pockets is up next. For a video. Honestly, I need a couple more pictures of Pockets. You sent me a few pictures of Pockets for my channel members. I've been doing these little 30-second snippets, like a little tribute to your SoulPet. And the pictures I have of Pockets are too close up, so they're really hard for me to use. So I have a couple that I was able to make work, but maybe you can send me a couple more. And who else do we have? Annie, great to see Anne, great to see you here. And scrolling down a little bit further, I swear I saw my Kathy's here, Kathy H and Kathy R. There they are. Hello, hello, my Kathys. And oh, Kali, you're amazing. 5 SoulPet gift memberships. What a beautiful way to help people really. This is what I mean when I tell you that we have a beautiful community. We have got a supportive community that will welcome everybody. So that is beautiful. Thank you. Jody, hello, hello. All right, Lady Leomon, I think I said hello. And if I don't, like Donna, I have not been able to see Donna's post. So Donna, if you're on, hello, hello. And every angle. I also, I'm sorry, look, I'm not looking at the camera because I'm looking at my comments and my tired old eyes. If I could, thank you, Cheryl, Ms. None, your New York business. Where are you at tonight? But every angles, that's every angles or every angels. It's hard for me to see. I cannot quite tell. And I think that was hello to everybody. Nico, I said hello to Nico's mama, which Charlie Chill. Yeah, but there's another name that goes with that. Okay, let's go back to the top. And let's start looking at those questions. And if I see more channel members jump on, I will. I might try next week saving the questions till the end, just because then it's easier for me to like not miss any. Sometimes I do because they scroll by really fast. It is not personal, I promise. I try to get to as many as I can. So let's look at these questions. Pat says he doesn't have the same level of grief anymore. Most days, the knowledge that Logan is still by your side is enough. And for many of us, that is truly, when I focus on, because I have 3 of many animal companions on the other side, but the 3 most recent were Lucy, Jack, and Winston. And most days it is more than enough for me to know that Lucy is right here, for me to know that Lucy, Jack, and Winston are connected to me forever, and that even if I have a couple of days that go by that I don't think about them, that I know that I can always tap into them. But there's sometimes, like when Lucy comes to me in a dream. Lucy's the one who comes to me most frequently in a dream. When Lucy comes to me in a dream and I wake up the next morning, it's almost physical, like the pang, the missing, the feeling of missing their physical presence. So I know exactly what you mean, Pat. Pat says, do you feel that the higher the level of grief, the greater our capacity is to love again? I fully believe that. I know that the deeper we grieve, that the depth of our grief is a sign of the depth of our love. And when we put the pieces of our heart back together, we talked about this last week, how to reimagine our heart space, and have it be something even newer and stronger and bigger. So I fully believe that, but I also know that it's not easy for everybody to get there. That's why I kind of backtracked a little bit when I was thinking about tonight but wait a minute, what if the grief that we have stored is stuck in our heart? How do we even get to that place? So that's why we're talking about this tonight. Family moving to Arizona. No, I wish. I love it here. I must have been in the desert in a prior life, not sure. I love heat. I love the desert. It doesn't get too hot for me. But no, we're not. We have no plans of moving to Arizona. Mini readings again for the live streams. Pat, there's a question. I know that I got away from that. For those of you watching for the first time, at the end of every live stream, I used to do a mini reading. The only reason that I stopped was life things, that mostly what happened last year. So my husband became very ill. There was a lot going on. Our move from one state to another, there was a whole lot going on, and I got away from those mini readings. Are you asking me, am I going to go back? If you guys want me to start doing mini readings again at the end of a live stream, I will go back to that. I do have the capacity to do that again. Access to reading sessions you mentioned. Yes, I will make sure that when I do post these mini little 30-second things that I do, 30 seconds to a minute, I'll make sure that everybody knows where they are. The most recent one I posted was for Gary and Potato, Collie's SoulPets. Love your description tonight, Sherry says. Being able to let go of the deep grief. It's not easy to release. And I'm glad that I have been able to help. Truly, that is my goal. If my goal, when I think of my role as an animal chaplain, it is to help people work through the grief that holds them down so deep that they can't function. And then my role as an animal medium is to help you connect. So once we can find a way to release that grief, to help you recognize that your connection is still there, and then how to get signs and messages. So you may want to join me on Thursday, April 30th, when we really take a dive into that. And you're going to be invited to bring along a photo or keepsake of your animal companion, your soul pet on the other side, as we make that connection. Kali. All right, let's do this, Kali. It's so hard to be able to navigate without your compass. That it's hard to feel steady without the anchor. That's been your struggle, that Gary and Potato were your compass and your anchor. Now, the words that I'm going to share with you are not just for you, they're for everybody. You are the compass. You are the anchor. That's what all of our animal companions, if we get right down to it, that is what all of our animal companions are trying to get us to understand from the other side of life. They have left their physical body. They have shifted into an energetic form. They are in spirit. It is their soul that we are connected with. And what they are trying to get us to understand is that we have everything we need right here within us. It's here, and they are helping us not only heal our heart, not only put our heart back together, not only understand how to soften all the edges and emerge, as we're going to talk about, emerge into a newer version of ourself with a bigger, better version of our heart. They're trying to get us to understand that we have everything we need. You are the anchor. You are the crystal. You are the healer. Like when I do Reiki with animals or Reiki with people, I am not the healer. I am simply accessing the energy and reminding the soul that I'm working with that they know how to heal, and they know how to access that healing. So I'm going to leave it at that for now until we start to talk a little bit more about a process for helping us kind of step into that place. Kali says, navigating so much loss in my life, but I can say that losing them has been the hardest one yet. I think I put that in the description of this live stream, that the hardest part is being the one who's left behind. The hardest part of losing our soul pets is being the one who's left behind. And I'm going to recommend, I think I've mentioned her name before. Her name is Dr. Tara Swart. So Dr. Tara, if you ever see this video, if I find a way to tag you in this video, I want you to know how much of an impact you have had on us here, because so much of your teachings are what I share here also. Dr. Tara lost her beloved husband. And I'm going to relate this to you, Kali, in particular, because if I'm not mistaken, it was after only 4 years. And Dr. Tara had waited almost a lifetime, like into her 40s, before she found the love of her life. And then after just a few short years, he transitioned to the other side. And I think about that same thing. I think about it with my own Winston, who was only with me for 2 years. It feels so unfair. It feels like we are cheated. It feels like, it feels literally like we were cheated. Like, why would we get that taste of pure, perfect love just to have it yanked out from under us? I think there's a reason. And I think part of that reason is that every soul is on their own journey. They waited just as long to find us. Have we considered that Gary and Potato, even though they knew what their journey was, often thought to themselves, wait a minute, I don't know that I want it to be over this soon. And yet it is. And so what they're teaching us from the other side of life is how to accept their new form, accept that the relationship wasn't yanked out from under us, accept that the relationship simply has really changed in a way that was unexpected, in a way that we might not have chosen, but there it is. And I'm just trying to form the words. The reason behind it is because there's so much more to us that we need to tap into, that we need to access. There is more to us who are left in the physical that we need to learn how to use. And they're showing us how to use it. So just a couple years from now, I can see like someone like Kali or even Pat or Sherry or Sharon, any of you, Z, stepping forward and saying, oh my gosh, when I look back on those years that I thought were my darkest years, they were actually the years that brought me to where I am now, because now I can help others. Now I know that my beautiful Gary and Potato walk by me and I can touch my hand, I can reach my hand out and feel their energy and know that they are still with me. They are still my anchor. They are still my rock, and they are still my compass. And now I know how to help others work through this. That's my thoughts about that. Okay, let's continue on. Gary was the first soul on earth to show me real love. I think I just that's exactly what I just talked about. You accepted his love and you loved him without limits. He loves you without limits. And here, if you're going to bring up limits, he still wants you to love him without limits. Without limits. Please don't let his lack of a physical presence be a limitation in the way that you love him and the way that he is able to connect with you. And then we're going to do this like the color has been dialed back and you're watching things in black and white on a fuzzy TV. When Gary and Potato were in your world, they felt like high def, all colors, bright and sharp. I built that into the exercise that we're going to do tonight about softening the edges, allowing those colors to blossom out of the black and white into the pastel, back into vibrancy again, and even more vibrant than they ever were before. That's kind of what we're going to talk about. Okay, let's keep on going. Sharon says she agrees with everything. So Sharon, this one is for you. This is for all you guys. Did I miss saying hello to Sarah? Hi, Sarah. How are you? So I'm going through my comments. Sarah, my fellow Milwaukeean. Kali, I tried to word how grief has felt for me as best I could. Okay, so and I will try to help lighten that a little bit. Just lighten that. And Pat, thank you for like, subscribe, and hype. It does help. It really does help. You guys know. I talk straight from the hip. The things that I say and I think are valid and real, and I love this to be real. And I don't like watching some podcasts that say, my team has told me that only 40% of you have hit the subscribe button, so do what you can. If you have to beg from, this is meant for those who are called to it. And if you are called to it, I invite you to share it and bring others into our group who can benefit from our connection, who can benefit from this beautiful team, this beautiful community that helps support each other, as you can see already through all the comments that we have. Sherry says, hey, SoulPet family. I love it. And Kali's stealing Robbie's line. You look 18. Robbie, I know that you watch this at some point. So thanks for the you look 18, because it's become a little thing for this whole channel. I did happen to listen to a podcast today, and I'm going to see if Cheryl has jumped on yet. Ms. Nun, you New York business, where they mentioned nuns. It was Buddhist nuns, but it made me think right away of all the nuns. It's also a running joke here on the channel because I'm a recovering Catholic, and all the things that the nuns have taught me. All right, let's go back up here. I felt like the whole world, this is from Alana. I felt like the whole world feels fake and vapid. I think that's the way we say the word vapid, since Yoshi passed. It was his 5-month anniversary yesterday. Alana, our hearts go out to you. We all know the anniversary of our beautiful animal companions crossing. And there's somebody I think that it's Jody, who calls it a sparkleversary. She has chosen to, I know that's Jody. She has chosen to look at the remembrance of the day that they transitioned as one of sparkle. And it's just it's a way to ease that memory, because we all know the dates. Whoops, I'm sorry, my notes are starting to blow away. If it gets too crazy outside here, I may have to move inside. But we all know that date. It's a date that we won't ever forget. But can we remember it in a different way? So thank you, Jody, for Sparkleversary. Okay. So let's go down a little bit more. Alana, I did my first painting since his passing a few days ago, a watercolor of rain clouds and lightning. Sent you a song when you were painting. Have you ever seen the rain? Oh, beautiful. When we can learn to accept those kinds of signs, those signs are not coincidence. They are synchronicity, and they're real. So when we can recognize those signs, it changes things for us also. Poolside, right? Yes, yes, I am poolside. And you just had, but why not? A change of scenery, just a little bit different here because I can. Because otherwise, I'd be indoors in the Midwest, and it's nice that I can share this with you guys. All right, I'm going to see if there's anything else to comment on. Otherwise, hello, Debbie. It's good to see you. Debbie came to the realization that if I keep crying and missing Sophie, it's like I'm doubting that she's still with me. Yes, but don't worry because she doesn't doubt that. She knows, um, and she will never stop. Um, Sophie will never stop trying to connect with you. She won't ever stop. She won't let you down. They don't tap their foot with impatience. Time on the other side of the veil is much different than it is here. We always, like, I have a clock right in front of me. We're always looking at our clock or at our cell phones. Or I don't wear a watch anymore, which I think is wonderful. I don't wear a watch anymore. I'm not tied to a watch, but there's a lot of things that we are focused on time here. How many times we say time in a day. On the other side, it's completely different. So they never lose patience with us. But if we recognize it as self-doubt, that's a good first step when we can actually recognize that there's something that needs to shift, that we're doing something that we don't, that our intuition is telling us, let's do something a little bit differently. Nice. Oh, thank you, Lady Leoman. There we go. Oh, computer issues. Okay, Cheryl, it's good to see you here. Ms. Nunya, New York business. And all right, I'm going to let you guys talk amongst yourselves. Oh, look at all these lovely. So we have 5 people this evening that received a gift of a SoulPet membership. So thank you so much, Kali, for that beautiful gesture. All right, so we're gonna keep on going then. I see one more comment from Charlie Chill, right? I'm pretty sure. Grief is a gift from the universe, so much to grow from within. If you can learn to look at grief as a gift, you are way on your way to having a more complete, fuller version of your heart. When I look at, it's hard to think of grief as a gift. I won't lie. That's a hard thing to think about because we want the pain to end, but it's more than wanting the pain to end. It's wanting to emerge on the other side of that pain differently, and able to continue to love and to feel that love again. It's that love that we are missing. Okay, so let's talk about some of this. I see the comments scrolling by. I am going to continue. I'm going to continue going on. November 20. Okay, so I could keep reading comments all night long, but let's get to the heart of this. Sorry, I have mosquitoes here also. So we're going to do some healing in real time. Let me flip on my notes. For those of you who are unfamiliar, I do something called free writing or automatic writing. I sit down prior to the live stream and I tap into all of our beautiful animal companions on the other side. I call them the Animal Collective. I sit down in a quiet space and I just ask them to guide me, show me. And tonight they happened to show me through Kali. Kali's post before the live stream started. But so I have all my notes in front of me. Let's make sure. The hardest part about losing a soul pet, yeah, is being the one left behind. My camera wants to follow me, however I shift. Sorry if that's making people dizzy. The hardest part about losing a soul pet is being the one who's left behind because we are still here in the physical. And when we are in the physical, we've got all that goes along with that. We have got all the denser emotions. We came here in this human form in order to experience the full gamut of emotion, everything. I don't label emotions anymore as negative or bad. Some are denser than others. Some are meant to teach us. Some are meant to show us how to explore different emotions even better. That grief may be one of those. Grief may be one of those emotions that are meant to teach us how to like grow our heart. If you think back to what's the Christmas video, the Grinch, right? And the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day. So think about your heart springing wide open, and that may be what grief is trying to teach us. The other thing is I want to bring up the idea of a cocoon. That's why I did the little visual that I did for this video with a cocoon and a butterfly. Because a cocoon, when we are grieving, sometimes I've been there, it feels good. I'm going to use under the covers as the example, but it feels good to wrap yourself up in a soft, protective shell that nobody can get through, that you don't have to get out of. It just becomes this protective coating that surrounds us when we're in the deepest kind of grief that we can think of, when we are really in that despair. And that little shell feels good. It feels good just to stay there, and maybe we don't ever want to come out. It's in there that we relive, like we rehash all the memories. We think about it over and over again. Sometimes there's guilt, but mostly there's longing, a longing to have them back again. And we stay in that cocoon and we don't want to come out. And I'm just going to tell you from a personal perspective, that was not soul pet, but soulmate. When my husband passed, there was a 3-month period of time that I don't even remember it. And I think that that happens with our soul pets also, our, especially when they are the love of our lives. I know what that feels like too, when they're the ones who are there for us through thick and thin. They're our anchor and our compass and our rock. They're there to lick away our tears. They see us, they've seen us through every phase of our life. And when we lose them, we go inside. And I didn't want to come out. I had 3 months where I was on I was just in default mode, and I still did live streams, but it wasn't the same. It was like Kali, it was like that. It was like black and white with a fuzzy TV is exactly the best way to describe it. I went through the motions, but it didn't mean anything until I realized how to get beyond the other side of it. And our soul pets, that's the last thing we're going to talk about. I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit. Our soul pets on the other side of life, no matter when they transition, they want to help us. They are helping us, whether or not we recognize it. They are walking us through this journey that we are on from the other side. But so we're stuck in this cocoon. The difficulty is if we let it become a trap. So instead of working through it, if we get stuck in that grief and don't learn how to move through it or how to come out of it, it's like that protective shell turns into a trap. And we do get stuck there. And I have described it before. I did not come up with this analogy, but it made perfect sense to me when I heard it, that it is like wearing a giant, warm, heavy, fuzzy blanket of poop. That's just the way it is. Like it's a nice, warm, heavy thing, and we wrap it all around us until we realize that it stinks. And so how do we step out of that cloak and emerge on the other side of it? So our cocoon being the nice, soft, protective thing. And we do it a lot by replaying. So we replay scenes in our head, which sometimes are beautiful. I love to, oh, hang on a second. Sorry, my alarm was going off, reminding me that I have a live stream because I'm 2 hours. This is 5 o'clock here, the 5 o'clock hour in Arizona. So yeah, thank you for reminding me that I have a live stream. And if we're not careful, we end up living inside it. So we live inside that cloak instead of learning to work our way through it. We are not meant to stay inside that cocoon. I'm going to keep on using that analogy. That cocoon, while it may serve its purpose, just like with a butterfly, so that caterpillar, sometimes beautiful, sometimes weird and green looking and icky looking, sometimes caterpillars are actually beautiful. They wrap themselves in that cocoon. They're not meant to stay there forever. They are meant to use that chrysalis, that cocoon, as a way of evolving, as a way of transmuting, of turning into something bigger, more beautiful, more absolutely stunning, and completely different. So we don't want to get stuck in it. And we're not forgetting, we're not moving on, we're not letting go. We are transmuting, alchemizing, changing, shifting, allowing the love to shift. So instead of that love being caught in a grip of grief, we're allowing the love to expand in a way that it never has before. We are allowing that love to transform, to change. We don't just want the hurt to stop, right? We don't just want the hurt to stop. We want to come out better on the other side of it. We often will say, we want to come out feeling whole again. We want to come out feeling that love again. And how are we ever going to do that when our soul pet isn't by our side? But they're just asking for us to look at it from a completely different perspective. It shifts everything. I've shared with you guys many times that it has shifted my whole perspective about death. Saying the word, it's not real. It's not real. We are taught something from the time that we are little to be afraid of, to stay away from, to do more than just fear. It's to really like to ignore it, to pretend that it's not going to happen to us, that we don't ever feel it's going to happen to us. We are reimagining, we are there's a word I use all the time. I can't think of it off the top of my head. We're changing the way that we talk about death. We're changing the way that we think about it. We're changing the way that we consider the possibility that everything goes on. I did want to bring this up, and I did forget about it in my notes, but it just is a reminder now. If you have ever watched any videos on near-death experience, I love to listen to the telepathy tapes. It's not necessarily about near-death experience, but it is about being able to communicate on the other side of the veil, among other things. But any of the videos on near-death experience, one of the best interviewers that I know is Alex Ferrari, and his podcast is called The Next Level Soul. And The Next Level Soul he does all kinds of interviews, but among them, he does near-death experiencers, along with scientists who explore near-death experience. When you listen to someone who has been through a near-death experience or a death experience where they literally have died, their body's done, but they come back from it, that experience, when they share it with you, it'll start to change the way that you also think about existence after death. And usually what they mention is that there's no separation. Frequently, a lot of the questions that come up on this channel are, did my animal companion feel pain? Did they know that they were transitioning? Where did they go? How did they go? When? There's no separation. My understanding, that's all I can share with you, is my humble understanding. My understanding of how it works from spending all this time with beautiful animal companions and exploring the whole near-death experience process is that there's no separation. That when a soul leaves the physical body, which often happens long before we see the physical body end, there's not a blank time in between. There's not a time between when they were in their physical body and the time that they reach heaven. There isn't any blank space in there. There's no bridge that has to be crossed. We imagine a bridge, but there isn't one that has to be crossed. It's instantaneous. They don't even realize that there has been a change. That sometimes happens with our soul pets a lot. They don't realize, and I can't remember who it was. You guys can share with me which animal companion it was. That actually watched themselves being carried down by their mama down the steps. And that's what came through in the reading for them. So they don't even see that there's no separation. So that's one thing that you don't have to worry about. What I'm trying to get at in that long-winded way is that I have no idea where I was going with that. That we don't have to worry about that. That we don't need to be afraid. We don't need to be afraid of their passing, and we don't need to be afraid of our own passing when that happens. Our body, this is the next piece. How do we open that door? How do we open the door that allows us to move out of that grief? How do we let the cocoon go? How does the butterfly ever emerge from that? It looks painful, doesn't it? If you've ever seen like a video of a butterfly coming out of its chrysalis, it looks painful. Almost like a chick coming out of an egg. It's got to peck its way out of there. And how does it do it? And it's all goopy. And if you look, I followed a chrysalis. It was really cool. When I was down on a farm in Florida, and a monarch butterflies had made a whole row of cocoons underneath of a fence, underneath of a railing of a fence. And we were able to video it and watch it every day. And it was really cool to watch from the beginning as the chrysalis formed, and then to watch the process as this little caterpillar turned into a real goopy mess is the only way for me to describe it. It wasn't even a physical form anymore. And then how that physical form rebuilt itself and reimagined itself. And then as it comes out of the chrysalis as a beautiful monarch butterfly, it's a miracle. It's miraculous. And to think that we have that miracle available for us in our hearts is what I want to do with that. So let's talk about how we do that. Our body, everything's starting to blow away here. Our body stores emotions, and it stores what I call stuck energy. When we have grief, I'm going to use grief as the example, but it could be anything. If we've experienced any kind of trauma, and I use that with a little t, not a capital T. If we've been through any kind of experience that has caused in us a really denser emotion, our body hangs on to that unless we learn how to get rid of it, unless we learn how to shift it. I shouldn't say get rid of it, unless we learn how to recognize it, alchemize it, transmute it, transform it, and it can be taught. That is something. If you look up somatic release, I think I've mentioned that before. We're not going to talk about somatic release tonight. I have a little bit different activity for us to do, but it's stored physically in our body. So sometimes we store it in our core. Women frequently will store things in that area below our belly button, in our reproductive area. We store things here, like this heaviness that we feel in our shoulders. Sometimes when we don't speak our truth, when we're not being our true selves, and we're keeping something hidden, we feel it in our throat. But grief, when we're thinking about the grief of an animal companion, is frequently stored in our heart, because that's where the love came from. That intense, deep sense of love came from within our heart. If you remember last week, I mentioned that our heart is built a little bit differently. Our heart has, we've now come to recognize, I want to say it was back in the early 1990s, when science, when the medical field recognized that the heart actually has a series of neurons at the top of it. Where they rest is where the blood flows in and where the blood flows out. And they are directly connected to the brain. It's why I teach the heart coherence thing, the brain heart coherence that I learned from the Heart Math Institute. Because when we can learn to align our heart and our brain and even our core, when we can learn to let go of the stress and focus on breathing and allowing that space to open, our mind calms, our core calms, and allows us to connect with our soul pets on the other side. Except when the heart is not functioning right, because we are with the grief is stored there. When we talk about a broken heart, we are literally talking about a broken heart. And those neurons at the top of those two sections, so where the blood flows in and where the blood flows out, when we experience the trauma of grief or loss, they close off so that the blood flow, it's why people faint. In a deep sense of emotion, like if you receive a bad emotional, I think about a song, I think about a scene from a movie where a mother received bad news about her adult children. It was in the war, and how she fainted, because the heart literally, her heart literally broke. The blood flow stopped going in and out. Those neurons felt that grief, and it got held there. So how do you work through that? How do you restore your heart so that it can function in a way that those neurons can recommunicate with your mind and with your core, and you can be soul to soul connected to your heart pet? That's what we're going to do. So I want to, I wrote something else here that we're going to do a little exercise right now. I'm going to do it right in the middle of the live stream. I'm going to have you guys walk through this with me because I want you to feel what it feels like. And I'm going to use some words that I borrowed. I'm not going to use them exactly, but I'm going to tell you the name of the song because I think that you will like it. I'll share first that it's an AI song. So there's a musician who uses AI. I believe that he either writes the music or writes the words, but anyway, it's complemented by AI. And the person who sings the song, it's an AI generated voice, but the words are true. And the musician who creates the music is true. He just, perhaps, I don't know that this is true, but perhaps, right, maybe he feels like me, like I can't hold a tune, but I have so much music inside me that I would get out if I could just sing. So that's what I feel about this. But the name of the song, the name of his YouTube channel is The Good Vibes Tribe 1111. So it's Good Vibes Tribe 11:11. And the name of the song is I'm Not What Happened to Me. And the words, some of the words they're for people who have experienced some kind of trauma, personal trauma, but I think it also applies to grief. So I'm going to walk us through that using those words, but I want to make sure that I give credit to him for his inspiration with those words. So this is what we're going to do. Let me get to this. All right. If you will follow along with me, if you can, if you're in a place right now where you can just close your eyes and follow with me, what we're going to do is not the heart coherence activity. Normally I do an exercise where we focus on our breath, and it's all about connecting our mind, our heart, and our core so that we are connected soul to soul with our soul pets. This one is going to be a little bit different. It is about softening the edges, smoothing things out, allowing our heart to repair itself so that we can get into that space where we can have a coherent heart. So this is all I want you to do with me right now is close your eyes. Close your eyes, and I'm going to invite you just to tap on your heart. Tapping, you guys know, I've mentioned this before. We've done a little episode on tapping. It's one of those ways. It's called EFT. I can't think of what that stands for, but it's where you tap certain parts of your body. And if you want to, if you can just tap your heart if you choose to. You can hold your hands on your heart if you want to. But I love this feeling of tapping. Tapping your heart. Uh, the actual tapping process is tapping your hand, tapping your forehead, tapping your temples, tapping under your eyes, your chin, your collarbone, your heart. It's like a little flow that just gets you to refocus. But it can be done just by simply, I hold my one hand still on my heart, the other hand taps. So close your eyes and just begin to breathe and listen to my words. They don't blow away. Just listen to my words. That's all you need to do. We're going to help release what our body has stored, that stuck emotion, soften the frozen edges, allow some of the color to flow back into our life, allow both the blood that our heart so generously moves around our body, as well as the love that our heart so generously moves around our soul. I'm not what happened to me. I'm not what happened to me. I'm who I choose to be. I'm not what happened to me. I am not the wound. I am not what happened to me. Each breath I take, I shift, I rise. I am not the dark. I am the light. I lift the veil. I shine the light. I release the pain. I reclaim the love. I allow the color to return to my life. I'm not what happened to me. I breathe around the edges. I soften the walls that I've built around my heart. I smooth things. The black and white becomes pastel. The pastel becomes real color. The real color grows into vivid shades, beautiful, vivid colors. I allow that to return to my life again. I know that I am the anchor. I am the rock. I am my compass. I am the color. I am vibrant. I return to a life of vibrancy and beauty and love. I allow my beautiful animal companions on the other side of life, my beautiful soul pets. I welcome their guidance. I feel their love. I hold them so close in my heart, and I allow those walls to drop from my heart. I feel them like ice melting in a summer sun. I allow that to drip from my heart and replace with love. I emerge from the cocoon, not just a butterfly, but a brilliant, beautiful, loving soul, capable of loving again, looking for love again, open to feeling that love on both sides of the veil. It can be hard. It can be painful, shifting from that place of grief and guilt and into a place of love. I emerge from my grief as someone new, someone whole, and someone complete. I am complete. You are complete. Breathing in, breathing out. That's all you need to do. And it may take more than once. You may need to do it many times, but do it with the intention that you fully expect. You don't expect, you deserve. You don't just deserve, you are picture it as done. It is done. It's not something that you hope for. It's not something that you pray for. Your heart emerging, not just healed and not just whole, but expanded. It's done. It is done. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Bring your focus back to the present. That's all there is to it. It's that simple. I know it's that simple for me to say. But that is, you don't need to go to any extreme lengths to begin to heal. When we begin to heal, there are techniques that I want to continue to share with you, whether it's tapping, whether it is doing a meditation, whether it's listening to the voice of our animal companions as they're expressed through my lips, whether it is listening to beautiful music like you may do if you choose to go to that that Good Tribes Vibe channel. The last piece of this is to ask for help. You do not need to do this alone. When you are feeling that you've got a black and white day going on and everything feels flat and there's no, like the 3D is gone from your life, let alone color, just the you're in a 2D existence, moving from moment to moment on out of default, ask for help. Come to me, come to this channel, come to this family that supports you, and come to your soul pets. Our soul pets, every last one of them, whether it's Gary and Potato or Phoebe or Pockets or I'm thinking of all their names, Coco, Yoshi, all of them, Estella, all of them. I have so many names. They could go on and on and on forever. Logan, Mew Mew, they could go on and on forever, but all of these soul pets, not just yours, your soul pets are right there, not ever leaving your side. They're holding your hand whenever you need it. They're riding on your back whenever you need it. They're jumping up and down. They're jumping on the bed. They're doing everything possible. But beyond that, our beautiful animal collective who meets here with us every Monday night, all you need to do is ask them. Ask for their help. Is it telepathic communication? 100%. You want me to go down the rabbit hole with that a little bit? It's 100% telepathic communication. It's heart-to-heart communication. It's interspecies communication. It's interdimensional communication. I don't care what label you put on it. Our heart talks to their heart. Their heart has gathered as one beautiful, beautiful heart and soul that is called SoulPet, and they are here to help us. You are welcome to call on them. I know I'm not even reading the comments, and I already know that you're already sharing with each other that I know that Jack, Lucy, and Winston, they're on your team. Jake, on your team. All the soul pets who have ever been part of my life, I promise you, they're on your team too, because they want nothing more than for us to emerge from this even better than we went into it. And they've been prepping us for this. They have been prepping us for this all along. Okay, I cannot see. I think the sun has gone really wonky on me, and I apologize if you have maybe not even been able to see my face. I am going to quick check on comments, and then we're going to kind of wrap things up here. I'm seeing, I'm just going to go up a little bit for comments. What Americans call Juneteenth, or is that something different? Oh, Lady Leomon. So I'm going to guess then Juneteenth is someday. I had have to go back and think what that is. When my brother passed away, someone shared a song with my mother called Homesick. The songs may make you tear up. Do it. It's okay. Like I feel when I sing the song, when I listen to the song and I sing along with it, I'm Not What Happened to Me. I can feel myself like, I think there's a video. He has a video with it of all the people that listen to this song for whatever reason. It makes you tap your heart like, I'm not what happened to me. I'm who I choose to be. So I encourage you to listen to it because it will. It brings things up and it's part of the healing process in my mind. Okay, I went for an MRI recently. Look, the sun is blocking the comments. Ended up staying in the same hotel I stayed at when Gary had surgery. Didn't realize when you drove up, pulled into the parking lot at 11:11. Yeah, you cannot, the signs don't get any clearer than that, do they? They don't, I think I have to hold this over the camera too. The signs don't get any clearer than that. All right. Love is energy. It never dies. All right, you guys, I'm going to end the comments here. I can't see the screen anymore. Let me just lower these comments. I am going to close this out. No, it's not too bad. It's a little bit sunny behind me, but not too bad. All right, that is what I have for you guys tonight. I will go through and check all the comments. I can't see them now because of the glare. Please, do you think lighting candles can help? Who says that? Can help our animal friends when we try to reach them on the other side? Oh gosh, Lady Leoman, can lighting a candle help? 100% lighting a candle can help. I said it's one of the ways that I like to be able to receive information is to look into the flame of a candle. So if on April 30th, you're able to join us. That will be one. We are going to do several activities which help us to receive signs and messages from our soul pets on the other side. But when you look into a candle, this is just a quick aside, but somebody needs to hear this. When you look into the flame of a candle, it becomes mesmerizing. And that mesmerizing, when you stare at the flame with that intention that you want to connect with your animal companion, being mesmerized, almost hypnotized by that, allows your mind to quiet. So when your mind quiets and your subconscious mind kind of kicks into place, there's brain waves, and we can. That's a whole. I could do a whole video on that. Maybe I will. You're changing your brain waves from one of a stressed state of beta into something that we call gamma. It's theta waves and gamma waves. That's where we want to get. That's when our mind is quiet and open to receive those messages. Lighting a candle, staring at the flame until you feel yourself start to get mesmerized, opens your mind to receive signs and messages. So what I would do if I'm lighting a candle, it's not just like lighting a candle and praying to a statue to say, please bring me a sign. You light the candle, you stare at the flame, and when you feel yourself in that place when you're almost like hypnotized, you pick up a pen and a paper and you write down the message. So that's just one of the ways that you can get a message. Okay, so that was a little bonus for this evening. My friends, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you so much for the support that you offer to each other. Thank you so much for sharing your soul pets with me. And if you're brand new to this channel, or if you've been watching this for the 3 years that we've been doing it, well, 2.5, it hasn't been quite 3 yet. Know that you are not alone on this journey. We are here with you. And may animals light your way. Take care, everybody. Love you guys.